Hello all, welcome. Today I'm going to teach you about a process called mastectomy. It's the removal of the breast. I'm going to give you a step-by-step on how it's done, so if you ever have to come to this certain scenario, you kind of know what's going on and what's happening. So here I have some diagrams on how it's officially done and how it's properly done. Okay, so mastectomy, it starts with an incision in the nipple and areola complex. Here, you can clearly see the lines across and how it's cut. The incision is then deepened by the means of a coagulation diathermy device. Its subthermal veins will be encountered that must coagulate. We then use a 20-inch blade to raise the superior flap. Sorry, I had intruders. No worries, no worries. The superior flap so it can be straightened up and perpendicular from the chest wall. Sufficient tension should be maintained during a lift, and the 20-inch blade should cut through the elliptical skin incision that includes the nipple areola complex. To ensure that the flap is the same thickness throughout and to prevent buttholing. Let me show you a picture of the superior flap being raised. So once you cut through, even though this is not in color, but you can kind of get the gist, this is where the breast area would be. You'd use the blades to lift it up so you can see what you're cutting through. With a diathermy device held parallel to the flap, the breast tissue is dissected away from the end of the incision to the other. There's no specific anatomic landmark that defines the depth of the incision. However, you need to kind of have barriers. I'd have the flaps approximately 5 to 10 millimeters thick. Well, actually, not I, since I'm not a doctor, but most doctors would. A bloodless plane prevents evidence, representing the transition zone between the subcutaneous tissue and the breast tissue. If the wrong plane is used, bleeding will be heavy while the flap is raised, and you don't want a lot of blood. You want to kind of minimize it as much as possible. The dissection is deepened to the pectoralis major with the care taken from the coagulant vessels that are encountered, so we can minimize the blood loss during the operation, because more blood equals healthy human. It is important always to identify the limits of the dissection before starting to dissect the breast from the chest wall. The medial limit is the lateral border of the sternum, and the lateral limit is the anterior border of the latissimus dorsi. The superior limit is the second rib, and the inferior limit is the infirmary crease. So here is a picture of it almost being completed. This is it. I'm raising all the way and getting at more of the chunks. This picture is about how they're still left over. They're cutting through, and this is kind of the final product. They're just getting all that tissue and all that. So, a lot of people who have mastectomy or not have mastectomy or taking this process, usually it's done if you have a cancer or some sort of disease in the breast area. Also, typically nowadays, transgendered people who were once women or want to become male, or for whatever belief that they have, will remove the breast in that way so they can get rid of their female parts. Well, thank you. I hope this was helpful. If this gives you if this makes you feel more secure once you're older and you want to know what the process is like, I hope this helped. Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.